One of the operations we often use is a loft operation. And a loft operation connects different curves. What we can do is, for instance, we start in the top view and we define a few arches which might define a roof structure. We do this from a top view, not very precisely, just very quickly clicking a few of the points. Okay, and let's turn them up a bit, or at least change one of the points. We select the midpoint and we can pull it up. One of the other corners, activate the control points. Over there, some more control points. See, the more control points we have, the more we can adjust or tweak the surface. And it is easy to often shift between the different viewports. Okay, almost there. So that's the final point. Let's go to the perspective view and we can deactivate the control points. So these are 4 different arches and which might define a roof shape. With the loft operation, we can connect these curves. The loft operation can be found here on the panel or from the menu, surface. Actually, you have to look a bit for it. Loft is the second one. And also if you look at the surface tools, it's also over here in the tools. So the loft tool asks you to select different curves that we want to loft. So we click on one on the points. And the order in which you click is quite important. We press enter to confirm. Okay, and we already see a proposition of Rhino which connects the curves with some additional curves. Now it is best to do this in the viewport, in a shaded viewport. This already gives a preview of what we will end up with. We have different styles of loft. And we can also press on preview, but in this case it's already viewed. Normal loft connects the curves quite precisely. A loose loft in this case doesn't make much difference. It depends if we have very strong curvature, it does not fully connect the curves. It might deviate a bit to get a better, smoother connection. Let's stick with the normal one. Straight sections. Click on preview. Here we see that each pair of curves is connected with straight lines. It's not that visible. Developable. Let's do developable. Here we get a bit of a problem. That means that we can actually unfold the surface onto a flat plane, which might be used to cut it out from a metal sheet. But in this case, it's not the best approach. Uniform, it gives also a very smooth representation. So we stay with the normal style, and it also allows us, for instance, to shift the alignment of the curves a bit, or also to rebuild the curves. In this case, we had a few control points, but we can ask Rhino to replace the curves with new curves that are built with a particular amount of control points. We have to for instance, if we say we want to rebuild them with 3 control points, rebuild it, that might really change the shape a bit. Now we see that we miss some of the curves, but each curve will now only have, each arch in the loft surface will only have 3 control points. Okay, let's do this last one. We can even remove our curves because we don't need them anymore. Let's click somewhere over here. There is our curve. Okay, so this is our loft surface, a connection with different curves. In this case, our curves were open, so we end up with an open loft, with an open surface. If we would have connected closed surfaces, for instance, if we would have drawn a few ellipses, let's create one over here and create a new one over there, another one over here, and then we can move them around a bit in the side view. Okay, so now we have 3 elliptical surfaces. We can still call the loft command. Click on the 3 ellipses, press enter, and now we can still pull at a point to define the seam. Where is the seam, the closure of the surface? So where does the surface start and where does it end? It ends in the same point, but we can pull on the curves a bit to see where it starts. Okay, enter. In this case, let's go to the normal one, preview, do not simplify. In this case, it maintains the curves. Now we see here, there's a slight error. If you look at it, the curve falls onto itself. So we have to align the curves a bit. You see that this curve was oriented in the wrong direction. In this case, by clicking on the point, we can switch the orientation back again, and that is better results. Now we have a clean connection between the 3 different curves. Enter. So this is a better result. We can also say we want a closed loft. Let's see what that brings. Not exactly the best solution here. What it does is connecting the last curve back again to the first curve. So there is the curve, the surface continues over the last curve back into the first one. But it's not a good solution for this particular example. Okay, so these are 2 applications of loft using closed curves and using open curves.